There's a certain kind of question out there, one that isn't really looking for an answer. It isn't after truth. It's after control. And if you've ever had that sudden chill, that quiet alarm ringing in your body when someone asked a question that sounded perfectly harmless but felt disturbingly wrong, then this video is meant for you. Because deception doesn't always come dressed in bold lies. Sometimes it hides behind questions, carefully crafted questions. Questions that are meant not to clarify, but to confuse. Not to understand, but to dominate. And once you learn how to recognize them, your entire view of the world will begin to change. Forever. So let's step into the shadows. No filters, no sugarcoating, just raw insight. We're about to dissect the psychological strategies manipulators use, using the same mental armor the Stoics once wore to see through deception, to walk through chaos untouched, and to remain firm in a world that thrives on confusion. 1. Why are you being so sensitive? Let's start with a familiar one. This question isn't what it seems. It pretends to be curiosity, but it's actually an accusation dressed up as concern. It's one of the most common gaslighting weapons. What this question is really saying is, I plan to overstep your limits, and I need you to feel guilty for noticing. It's a sly maneuver designed to flip the blame on you. And the worst part? It often works. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And that's precisely what this kind of question manipulates. Your imagination. It plants a seed of self-doubt, pushing you to wonder, am I overreacting? Am I too emotional? But the truth is, sensitivity isn't weakness. It's awareness. It's presence. And manipulators hate people who are present, who notice, who feel, who speak up. Because people who feel deeply notice the cracks before anything falls apart. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, if someone can refute me, show me where I'm wrong, I'll change. I seek the truth. So the next time someone tries to dismiss your intuition with, why are you so sensitive? Pause. Look them in the eye and calmly say, I'm not being sensitive. I'm being observant. Are you uncomfortable with that? Just watch. Watch how fast the act collapses. 2. You trust me, right? This one always comes with a smile, maybe even a reassuring touch. But don't be fooled. It's a setup, a silent warning. Because anyone who asks for your trust like it's a favor, instead of demonstrating why they deserve it, is already playing with your mind. Genuine people show consistency. Liars, however, want your trust up front, with no questions asked. They're not requesting faith, they're demanding silence. They want you to ignore your inner voice, shut down your critical thinking, and let them through the gates of your peace without earning it. Epictetus, another great Stoic, once said, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The same applies here. Liars ask, you trust me, right? To shut down your reasoning. They want you to feel guilty for being cautious, as if trust without evidence is a virtue. But it isn't. In fact, the Stoic ideal of apatheia, a state of calm indifference to manipulation, teaches us not to react impulsively. So the next time you hear this question, don't rush. Don't reassure them. Instead, calmly say, trust is built through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my own judgment? That's when you'll see their discomfort. They may change the topic. They may even get angry. And that's your answer right there. 3. Are you accusing me of something? Now we're stepping into defensive territory. This question doesn't seek clarity. It's a misdirection, a tactic to turn the heat around. You're no longer asking questions. They are. Suddenly, you're the one on trial. You're the one defending yourself. And just like that, the manipulator has shifted the balance of power. It's a strategy designed to provoke panic. One moment you're curious, the next you're backpedaling, explaining yourself, apologizing, softening your stance. But for what? For thinking? For having doubts? For paying attention? There's a powerful Stoic truth. The first step toward wisdom is the silence of thought. But that silence doesn't mean you give up. It means you choose your moment to speak wisely. When someone asks, are you accusing me? They're not seeking an honest answer. They're hoping you'll crumble under pressure. Don't. Instead, hold steady. Keep your gaze firm. Pause. Let 2 or 3 seconds pass in silence. Then, Ask the only question that truly matters. Should I be? That line? It breaks the illusion. Liars expect nervous explanations. What they don't expect is strength. For, would I ever lie to you? This one is sugar-coated poison. A gentle dagger. It's not a real question, it's a performance. They want you to see them as incapable of lying, as someone pure, trustworthy, almost saint-like, shocked that you'd even entertain the idea of them being dishonest. But here's the catch. If someone's asking you this, it usually means you're getting too close to the truth. As the Stoics warned us, don't spend your life speculating about others. Focus instead on what you can see, what's real, what is. This question is a trap meant to lure you into illusion. It wants you to doubt your instincts and trust the performance. When someone tries this, don't get swept away. Don't answer directly. Respond with clarity. Look them in the eye and say, that's not the real question. The real question is, would I know if you did? Watch their reaction. That single sentence cuts through the fog like a blade. Because deception hides in the shadows, and you just turn on the lights. 5. Can't we just move on from this? This one often comes at the end. When everything else fails, the manipulator plays their last card, emotional fatigue. They don't want resolution. They want escape. They want you to give up, not because everything's okay, but because you're exhausted. They want the conflict to end, not with truth, but with silence. They hope you let it go just to keep the peace. But peace without truth is just a pause in the storm. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. So when someone hits you with this line, don't fold. Don't rush. Instead, calmly reply, I'll move on when I understand what happened. Not before. That calmness, it shakes them because it means you're grounded. You're anchored. And no matter how hard they try, they can't push you off center. Now, here's the final warning. Lies aren't always in the words. Sometimes they're in the emotions they create. Manipulators don't just twist your thoughts, they twist your feelings. They'll make you question yourself, make you feel guilty for being intelligent, ashamed for being aware, cold for thinking critically, harsh for having boundaries, difficult for expecting honesty. They'll flip the entire narrative until you feel like the bad guy, just for noticing the inconsistencies. But remember this, having boundaries doesn't make you broken. Asking questions doesn't make you cruel. Wanting clarity doesn't make you paranoid. And seeking peace built on truth, not illusion, doesn't make you too much. It makes you awake. And the world fears the awake ones. Because the people who are truly awake can't be controlled, can't be manipulated, can't be seduced by fake apologies or polished lies. They don't chase validation. They don't plead for loyalty. They don't explain their standards to those who don't respect them. The Stoics didn't train for comfort. They trained for clarity. They practiced seeing the world as it was, not as they wished it to be, because they understood a timeless truth. A man who sees clearly becomes a threat to deception. He becomes unshakable. So hold on to these 5 red flag questions. They aren't just random phrases. Each one is a calculated move, a manipulative strategy meant to disarm you, distract you, or disable your sense of truth. But now you recognize them. Now you see the game. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. You're no longer the pawn. You've stepped into the role of the player. And remember, pawns get sacrificed. Players? They win. Run a mental fire drill every time someone leaves you feeling off balance. Ask yourself, is this person looking for truth or trying to gain control? Am I being guilted into silence? Would Marcus Aurelius or Seneca accept this question in their presence? If I stayed quiet, who benefits from that silence? If a friend were in my shoes, would I tell them to let it go or to dig deeper? If the answer burns, let it. If you get twists, listen. It's not paranoia, it's perception. It's not fear, it's awareness. Liars thrive when you doubt yourself, but Stoics train to stay steady in no matter the storm. And now you can too. Not by attacking, not by yelling, but by holding your ground, quietly, powerfully. And when you sit across from a liar and see through the performance, without flinching, without explaining, you've already won. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, If you want more clarity in a fog-filled world, hit like, hit subscribe, and join me in the next video. Stay grounded, stay sharp, stay unshakable.